All right, hey, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. All right, what are we gonna do? Okay, this is from some dude in the comments, Ray something or another, R-A-E. So Ray. What up, Ray? I'm just making up nicknames for you. Okay, dealing with distractions. Okay, so the guy said he has distractions when he goes out and plays. Okay, and how do we deal with distractions? I would say that my entire channel is about dealing with distractions, okay? Because I'm a process over results guy. I'm coming up with ways to approach. I've been talking on other podcasts about cues, things like that. So we'll just go through things. So we'll go through specifically dealing with distractions, because sometimes I make the assumption that, a lot of times I'll get questions in the comments and like this, and I'll be like, see every video I've made, because I assume like people would take that information and put it together and figure it out, because I'm talking about process, and the reason why I'm talking about process is because it helps you stay calm. It helps you to and when you're calm, you can actually focus, and you can calculate, and you can figure things out. You can assess the situation and advise yourself. So I've done videos on that and podcasts and things with my wife, who's a therapist, and we go through the mental game and staying present and all those things. And that's what allows you to keep the distractions out. So let me just disclose that I'm like undiagnosed ADHD. My wife thought I had it. I went and got a test. They said, no, I guess I don't have it, but I swear I got it. So whatever, but just suffice it to say, whatever the phrase is, I just maybe got close with that one. Like I get distracted super easy, bro. So I'm in this boat, okay? So I'm gonna give you the quick hitter tip. And I think I might have talked about this in other videos, but I'm gonna give it again. In my bag, I have clear earplugs that you can mold into your ear that you almost can't even notice and see. And it shuts out about 70% of the noise around you. So if you want the easiest, double Ray, if you want the easiest way to deal with distractions, buy that little pack. There's like 16 or 32 of them in a pack. It's probably 10 or 20, 15 bucks. I don't know. My wife buys it. I call my wife the universe, because every time I need something, I just announce it out loud, and then it shows up on our doorstep through Amazon. So now it's a bit that I have, and I'll go, universe, I need, when she's sitting over there, and I'll go, I need socks. And then she'll get me socks. Or I need those earpluggy things, and she knows what I need, so she'd order them for me. So if you have a universe, get your universe to order them for you, or order them yourself, or whatever. But they're like wax things that you can mold in, and they're great, and they block out so much stuff. So that's the easiest hack to deal with distractions, and I've used it, and it works great. And it makes a cool sound when you're playing pool. It's like thud, thud, thud. The sound of the balls sounds really cool. I really like wearing them, and I wouldn't wear music. I would not. It's too distracting to have music in your ears. It's too much direct noise. Ambient noise, for me, it works. Okay, another hot tip, okay? Before I even get to like the real deal stuff, I'm gonna give you all the hacks. Okay, the earplugs. The second hack is, I did this, right? Because I used to hear, my dad would call it rabbit ears, and it used to piss me off because it's very dismissive about being distracted. But daddy issues. Okay, so because of the rabbit ear issue I've had over my lifetime of competing at golf and pool and things like that, and having it be kind of quiet and you can hear things, I did this for a while, and it was awesome. Go on and get coffee house background noise chatter and play it loud when you're playing pool. I did that for a while. And so you'd hear people talking and murmuring and talking and murmuring. You'd hear some dishes clanking, things. And I chose coffee house because I love coffee houses. So it was like I was playing in a super busy coffee house. And I remember there was some private club that had one or two tables, and I would go there, and they had thing I could hook my phone to, and I would just play it, and I would play and practice with that chatter going on. So that I would definitely suggest, if you're hearing people talk and it's bothering you and distracting you, that is a super, super good visualization and hack thing to do. And that is great. And then the waxy thing works good. So, okay, so there's the quick hacks. Like, you could turn the video off now if you don't want to listen to this. But now I'm going to talk about how you deal with distractions from a mental game standpoint, okay? And I got them ordered over here on my thing. And the first thing I'm going to say, and this is the answer to every question that I get, almost entirely every question I get on pool, this is the number one answer that I can give people. And we'll pause, we'll play a little game, you can guess what it is, okay? Jolie knows this one if he's watching this ever. The number one thing you can do is have acceptance. That is it. If you start with acceptance and push forward with acceptance, life becomes so much easier. Every part of your life becomes easier, but specifically we're talking about pool and distractions. Accept that distractions are there. We can't shut them out. They're going to be there. And I have a million stories on distractions because in my former project before doing my channel, I was a brand ambassador for this place. And I had to play in front of people, and I was a content guy. And so people got to know me, and I was out in front, and I was the face of that business and the face of pool for that business. And so distractions came very fast at me because people, they just like Fast Eddie says, everyone wants a piece of me. They just wanted a piece of me. So I would be sitting in a chair and I'd be on a stream and I'd be playing a match, and someone would come up to me and say, hey, I saw you on your YouTube channel. I just want to tell you thanks, whatever. Okay, that's a distraction. It's a positive distraction, but it's still a distraction, and it can raise my cortisol, raise my heart rate, get me out of my moment of trying to play. This is during a match, when I'm right in the middle of a match. I'm like, okay, thanks, that's cool, awesome, I really appreciate it, thanks. And I just accept that that's gonna happen, and then I go back to locked in as much as I can, right? And then we'll get to how do you get locked in a second, but we're going through acceptance first. So I accept that that happens. I've also, in the same exact night, same exact stream, same exact chair, had a guy come up to me and tell me, because we were down in the match and I was trying, and it was a Scotch doubles, and I'm just doing the best I can with my partner situation and everything going on, and I'm just trying to, figure out what's going on. And the guy comes up to me and he says, this is unacceptable and blah, blah, blah. And how are you losing right now? And it's like, bro, like that's like a throat punchy type situation. So the first one was nice. The second one is like, if you're cranky and you're getting your nuts shot off and you're trying your tuchus off, as my people say, and someone comes up to you and starts spewing that at you, it's like throat punch time. And so I'm like, okay, acceptance, right? So I just take a breath. I'll talk about that too. And I just have acceptance. I accept that if I have a cue in my hand, that people are going to be interested. And I appreciate that, right? I appreciate it, because being invisible is kind of rough, right? Like, we all want to be part of a community and part of this world and be seen, right? Not even from like a, hey, content guy, brand ambassador. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking as a human being. It's just, it's like Castaway. The guy's there with his volleyball and he goes insane. So it's like, there is a part of interaction that we all desire, and it's part of healthy living. And so, but we can't control what type of interaction we're going to have. We can't control what that other party is going to do or say, right? And so if we have no acceptance and we want to try to control what someone's going to say to us at any moment in time, we're going to be miserable. So the best way for me to handle it, and the best way I'd suggest to handle any sort of distraction, is through acceptance, right? And I've had stuff happen that's just crazy when I'm in really high pressure situations, and I just use acceptance, and basically I use acceptance to get through it. And I just accept that this is what's happening in this moment in time, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And the only way I can make it worse is fighting it. So I accept it, I sit with it, I name it, I recognize it, I do these little techniques, and then I say, okay, let's move forward. Let's do the best we can with this situation. And we never can guess what's going to happen. I could be sitting in a chair and someone could come up to me and tell me some shit that's just insane that a person would never say to somebody in public, but they do. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's weird. And I'll just move on and have acceptance for it, right? And so I didn't have this when I was younger. When I was younger, I smashed my hand against the wall when someone said the wrong thing and all that stuff. And I was angry, and I was just like, I had no acceptance for it. And I realized as I got older that acceptance and gratitude is what's going to propel me forward in my life. And with pool, it propelled my pool game really, really, really forward. Okay. So that's the number one thing with dealing with distractions. Accept that distractions are there, accept that they're coming, and just be prepared to let it go as best you can. And basically just laugh it off. When someone comes up to you and says some stuff that's just absolutely asinine, because they're drinking or because they're not aware of what they're saying or because they are a completely different track than you are in life, it's like, now I just smile. I just make sure I'm safe, everything's okay. I can just, the quicker that I can accept this and move on, and just the quicker I recover, the quicker I'm back to focused on pool. So a lot of times I'm just smiling and laughing and just like this mother effer, I can't believe this. And I'll just be smiling and I'll just be like this, and I'm just like that. And then I'll just be like, okay, that was crazy. Now let's just move forward with what we have in front of us now. Okay. So acceptance, that's a big part of it. Okay. Secondly, I'd say building a process. Okay. I talk about training, and I talk about process, right? But there's also a process in how we approach the table. So if we have like a pre-shot routine type process, this is the best I can tell you, is that if there's a distraction, just take it from the top. So what I would say is there's a zone outside the table, and it's about 3 feet away. And everything that happens outside that 3 feet is kind of like the shit show area. And then once I step into that area where I'm a few feet away from the table, I now have a process that I go through to get ready to shoot. I walk the table, I find my zone, I design the shot, I think about thickness, I visualize, I consider my strategy. I'm really going through this process, right? And as I go through this process, and then I get down on the ball and I have sort of like cues on how I step in and do, and it's kind of automated, right? But it's like, it's happening. So my process is all built in training. And then when I play, I just trust that like 80% of my process will come forward and I'll be okay. And so if I watch myself on video and I'm sort of just in my moment, I just realize, oh, look at my process is repeated. Or I have other people watch my video and they're like, man, your process is the same every single time. And it's like, yeah, well, it wasn't that way. ADHD guy, flow guy, I built that. I'm not saying, oh, I built that. I'm saying that took time, right? That took some clunkiness. That took some time. So there is no like quick answer. It's like, these are the only quick answer I can give you is the hacks I gave you, but these are the longer, ways to develop how to deal with distractions. So, and it's not foolproof or anything. It just gives you the chance to be better when you're in distracting situations. So when I get to this point of the table, I'm looking, I'm doing all those things I just said. And by the time I get down to fold, I sort of have to be focused in order to execute the shot. And if I'm outside of that and I'm still thinking about that person or what that person did or that person watching or this, I know that I haven't built a good process and I'm not really ready and I haven't had acceptance and that I'm struggling and that this is not anyone's fault. This is my situation and I need to solve this. It's not that person's fault for acting like a jackass. It's kind of on me for not figuring out and accepting that there's people all over the world like that and they're going to be around pool rooms, honestly, and that it's just part of the thing, right? So taking responsibility for all this, I don't have it on my list, but that is the hugest thing, acceptance and take responsibility. But then you build the process in order to prepare yourself to come into that shit show and be okay when the distractions come in. Now, I have number 3 as breathe, okay? This is always a move for me. No matter what is going on, box breathe, 4 in, hold 4, 4 out. It's just, and I smile too, but breathing is the thing, and smiling, right? Never let them see you be upset. It just takes all of their power away, anybody that's messing with you or judging you or anything. No matter how bad it is, as long as you're smiling and you're getting oxygen to your brain and you're sort of like preparing yourself through that moment to get present, you know, because when you're thinking about your breathing, you become more present. When you're thinking about your breathing, you get oxygen to your brain. It's not BS. I used to think, it can't be that big of a deal. It's everything. It's huge, right? So that's it. Breathing, 4 in, hold 4, 4 out. You can even there's other stuff, you could Google it. There's other box breathing methods, but that's kind of a easy way to think about it. And that'll calm you down, bring your heart rate down, get oxygen in your brain. You'll start to think better. You'll be able to handle distractions. The distractions will go away. So when those people were messing with me and that thing I was giving the example, I just sat there and was just breathing. We're down huge in the set. Like we were going to 11. I think we were down like 9-1. And I'm just like, you know, sometimes my eyes are closed, sometimes they're open, sometimes just staring at the table and just not thinking about anything and just following my breathing. And sometimes I'm thinking about throat punching people and how I'd like to be doing that rather than playing pool. And I just breathe through it. And by the time I get done breathing, you know, I'm ready to shoot again, and the throat punching feelings are dissipated, and I'm more present and I'm ready to go. So, yeah, and then 4 would be go-to moves to get present. So I have some go-to moves to get present. I've talked about them in other videos, but I'll just say it here. You know, when I'm walking around the table, once I get into that 3-foot radius, I'm loose, right? So I'm loose. It's helping me get present. I'm thinking, because I know that when I'm loose, I have more power, I have more accuracy, I'm straighter, it's very, very beneficial to me. There's other moves I use, breathing. I use that to get present. Acceptance. I'll talk to myself and say, okay, this is how I feel. This is what I'd like to do. This is not happening. Wouldn't it be funny if I did that? Then I start smiling and I'm like, man, it wouldn't be funny if Irene had to come pick me up from jail. And then I start laughing about that. And then by the time I go through that process of my go-to moves to get present, then I'm like ready to rock, you know? And there's just other things, like I'm all in on thickness. I know that I need to lock on the object ball, these other videos that I have. So I use all these tools in these videos to get me present, right? Then this is another one. When I was didn't know any of this. I didn't know any of this. This is probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I had complete massive problems with being distracted. And someone told me a mantra and they said, have a mantra. And it worked. And basically I had this really ridiculous mantra. It was really long and convoluted, but saying this mantra to myself helped to calm me, helped me to get present, helped me to just keep away from all of the outside distractions. And basically it was just a mantra built around shooting that shot in that moment. That's all I could handle, is that shot in that moment. And it's very funny because that's all pool is over time. It's like I can run a lot of racks, but I run them one ball at a time. And I'm not making that up. That is actually the way I do it. It's just one shot at a time and they're all strung together. And when it's done, a bunch of balls go in the pocket and a bunch of racks are gone. So basically, and that's about being present as well. But a mantra, so you could have some sort of mantra, like this shot at this time. Or I think Jolie had a mantra, all in on thickness, because I was saying, Jolie, you just got to lock into that ball and get that ball to hit with the correct ghost, with the correct thickness, and go from there. So Jolie was all in on thickness for a while. So those mantras can help. So that's a helpful thing. My overall process now, I don't have like a set mantra, but I do think that I really am trying to be present. I'm trying to get into the moment of the shot. And I have videos on that. I have the shot where I had the ball frozen here and that ball way down there. And it was a really tough shot. and I was shooting it over and over and over again. And I was talking about being present and being forward of the cue ball. And those are the kind of things that get me to the present. And when I do those, I don't have time for the distractions, right? The other thing is that when you train these things, they become more habitual and you have less distractions. So when I play pool now, I have far less distractions than I did. I will get distracted once in a while, but I'll be able to pop up and say, I am distracted at this moment. Okay, I acknowledge it, I accept it, and then I try to go to a move to either, going back to my process or breathing or some sort of mantra or something I want to tell myself to get there. I just accept that that's where I am, and I go maybe to another move to get present. And so that's what I was talking about in the video that I did, where I was talking about the climbing up the hill like the Price is Right guy. If you have acceptance that you're going to be going like this throughout your game, once you can add these go-to moves and have acceptance, you kind of dip and go, but you'll end up going up as you play. So that's it. So these distractions, it's not just like have a mantra. I mean, yes, that could work, and it did work for me at some point, but it didn't work forever, and I needed to do more with my game and all that. And if I just said, build a pre-shot routine, well, that's not going to help. That's not going to be the whole answer. So it's like, these are all options of things you can do. I probably do most of these things while I'm playing, and I just use these tools as things come up. I'm not always smiling, laughing, thinking about ways that I would get arrested and then saying, I'm glad I'm not doing that, and start laughing. And it's not always that serious, bro. As my kids say, it's not that serious, bro. It's not always that serious for me. Sometimes it's just, I'm just distracted, where I'm like, if I'm, whatever the reason is for being distracted. And it's not always an external distraction with a person. A lot of my distractions are internal, right? I'm fighting an internal battle. And so the thing about distractions is it can be external, it can be internal. But if we accept that they're there, and then we sort of understand that we're never going to get into a spot where we're just perfectly zen, where we never have distractions, and we accept that we're there, and then we just try to add these tools to be able to counteract them and to work around them and kind of work through them. That's my opinion. That's the best we can do, and that is what I have done as a person that has been like 800 Fargo distracted guy. So I've built it brick by brick where I'm less distracted now, and it's because of all these things that I'm sharing with you. So that's about all I can tell you, and hopefully this is a good video, and hopefully it helped, and we'll just keep knocking them out. So yeah, this is awesome. I love you guys, and we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya. Bye-bye.